So my name is Luigi, and I am the founder of Oikla, a tech company that focuses on creating immersive and exciting listening experiences at safe listening level. I grew up listening to music the whole time, and when I turned 16, I actually started working professionally as a DJ in my local town, and I liked it so much that I wanted to know more, and I became a music producer for a couple of years. And after that, I felt like I wanted to know more, I wanted to learn more, and that passion led me to move from Italy to London, which is where I attended SAE London.
How did Oycla start?
Right. I was already concerned with my tinnitus and hearing loss when during a class, suddenly I kind of find a solution for hearing loss and hearing loss prevention and sound enhancement. And so I then spent all the remaining academic time prototyping a solution for it. And by the end of 2016, I kind of had a functional prototype, which I showed to classmates and lecturers, and they were all excited about it. So that kept me from, that gave me courage to continue. In 2018, I managed to put together a small but hardworking team made of a developer, a CFO, and a CEO. And together we started a fundraising adventure, which led us in 2019 to raise enough capital to actually start our mission.
My name is Ricky Damien, and I'm a Grammy Award-winning engineer and producer based in London, UK. I've met the guys at Oikla a few years back, and I remember being really impressed with their new technology and what they're trying to achieve. The issue they're trying to target is something that I really believe in, and it's not spoken enough, which is hearing loss in the consumer market. More and more with the advancement of technology, we find ourselves listening to content, whether that's film, gaming, or music on headphones for a long time. We might spend several hours on headphones every day on a daily basis. And what that does is, if done incorrectly at levels that are too loud for what we are recommended, that can create hearing damage and therefore hearing loss. What Oycla is trying to do is to bring a standard to make the listeners enjoy the content in a safe manner, but without taking away the excitement. As we all know, louder sounds better, and therefore we find ourselves turning the volume up to enjoy our content more, but doing that for a prolonged amount of time, or even doing that on a daily basis, can really create the hearing damage and affect our hearing overall throughout our life. So the way they are doing it, the technology they have, is an amazing tool. And the most important thing Oycla is trying to do is to allow us to listen and enjoy the full experience of the content, whether, again, that's gaming or film or music, in a safe manner, but without taking anything away from the listening experience, which is ultimately the most important thing.
How did that process begin? Like when you were at the drawing board, what did your inspiration come from?
Yeah, it was pretty. I still remember clearly because I had a great lecture, and Hugh Harlow, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrongly or whatever, but he was a great lecturer, and I remember he was explaining about the equal loudness curves and how the hearing changes based on the sound level, and I had the classic moment, like ding, oh God, why is nobody doing this? So. Yeah, that was the starting point for me. I was very triggered by it because I was like, how come nobody has done this before? Why is this not on the market yet as a solution? So that's how it started, like from a technical point of view. Then, I really spent the whole time, like I guess the first half of a year till mid of the second year, just researching and working on it. And yeah, that's how he started, really. He started writing class, during a normal lecture.
And I know you said that you were concerned about your tinnitus. Is
Yeah.
that what sparked your initial interest in hearing loss prevention?
Yeah, totally. Because the thing is, once the damage is done, it cannot be reversed. It's permanent. And just like hearing loss, this is caused by prolonged and loud sound exposure. And, what media doesn't have sound these days? I mean, video game, obviously music, film, they all have sound in general. And so the problem that I faced was, well, I have to be careful from now on what I do, because I can just ruin it and I will never be, my hearing will never go back to being the same. So yeah, that's what triggered my. That's really where everything started. It was from my a personal issue that I wanted to solve. Because if you listen at high listening level, then everything sounds nice, but it's kind of dangerous, right? But if you're listening at safe listening level, it kind of sucks, but it's safe. So I wanted to find a solution between them. How can we make the listening experience safe, but also exciting?
Was there one, you said it was in a class, that there was that one specific moment that you started to get really concerned about your hearing?
We often go to a concert, right? And you come back and you hear like this beep in your ear, and maybe 3, 4, 5 hours, 8 hours, it's gone. But my concern started when that became permanent, when that never went away. And but I didn't know that hearing loss or tinnitus was a chronic or a permanent issue. I thought there must be a solution for it. So then you go to the doctor, and the doctor tells you, sorry, very little you can do about it. And so that's where you get really concerned. It's like, oh, okay, I need to be really careful about what I do and how I do it, because I can only make it worse. It will never get better. It's a little bit like getting old.
So do you still suffer with that now?
Of course, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, still.
Okay, so you can hear it as we speak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beep. I guess maybe you can put it this, and maybe we can, because I thought I can say, oh, it sounds like this, and then we can have the actual sound.
I didn't know you still had it now. I thought that was a surgery that you could have.
No, but even if you have a surgery, like it's an invasive, process. It's not a pill where you take it and it just whoop, disappears. Because the thing is, a tinnitus is a signal that your brain sends. It's from your brain. It's not from your hearing. So your hearing stops hearing certain frequency, and your brain goes like, well, I'm not hearing these things anymore. Why? And just goes nuts. Well, I'm oversimplifying it, but this is one of the reasons. I mean, it's not only caused by loud sound exposure, but it's also mainly caused by loud sound exposure and prolonged sound exposure too. And just to add on that, to make things worse, the WHO estimates that 1.1 billion people are at risk of hearing loss due to loud sound exposure in recreational settings. So that's quite concerning. It's not like just my personal issue. It's an issue that a lot of people, and these are people between 11 and 35 years old. These are not, old people. These are very young people that are going to be probably deaf in the future. And it might not seem much now, but see, in 20 years, if we end up with a whole generation of people having massive issues with their hearing, I mean, somebody has to do something about it.
How did you raise funding for your venture?
Wow, that was an adventure actually. I never did it, so I had no experience on how to do it. So essentially, I took all my savings first, and I spent them all on my living cost and on some basic company cost. And then I let everybody know, my family, my friends, that I was serious about raising investments for my company. And eventually, one of my best friends committed giving me some money to start the company. And then I got some interest from some angel investors in the United States. And I bought a flight. I went to the United States. I pitched the company. I pitched our mission. I showed the product, the prototype that I had back then. And then within 6 months, we closed our first round of investment. That's how I started. The funny thing is that I completely went broke, and when I went broke, that's when I actually received all the investments. Okay, maybe we don't want to say that.
That's okay. Very honest. That's good.
Yeah.
A real expose. 6 months is quite fast.
Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah.
6, 7 months. Yeah.
How did you reach out to the people in America?
It was through friends actually, but they were completely unknown to me, like friends of friends of friends. And when I reached out to them, they were interested in what I was making. I think I think fundraising is a very personal process. I mean, obviously investor will look at what you're making, your business plan, and all of that kind of thing. But I think they ultimately wanted to know if they can trust you as a human being, right? Because they're giving you their money. So I think it was a very good thing that I actually got a flight to actually meet them, because I was at such an early stage when I started that, somebody had to believe me because I didn't have much to show. I had a prototype, which was functional, but, I had a team that I just started. So, yeah.
What has been your greatest inspiration during your venture?
It's very simple. It's music. I mean, it's probably, easy, but music was definitely the thing that inspired me. Like, music has had always a great impact on my life. And knowing that I could let a lot of people experience great sonic perception while preventing hearing loss, which is, again, a threat that very few people are doing anything about, and still do what I love, was and still is my greatest inspiration.
So in your opinion, what are the top 3 skills needed to start your own company?
I will start with problem solving. It's probably very simple, but especially when you're starting a new company and you're building a novel technology, you're left with a lot of challenges from creating the technology, building a team, forming a vision, and raising capital. And very often these are actually happening pretty much all at the same time. So being able to find solutions very quickly, it's kind of vital, I would say. Well, the second is obviously having a background in sound engineering was definitely helpful for me because, we build audio technologies at Oikla, so that was definitely useful. And then I would say networking. I mean, you need to start engaging with a lot of people. Like from day one, you need to start talking about your vision and get them excited about what you're doing, whether that's about promoting your company or simply gathering feedback. You need to be able to essentially engage with people in the industry and your potential customer from day one.
So you mentioned your team, and 50% of your company are ex-SAE students. Is that correct?
Yeah, a little less now, but yeah, sure. I mean, we were at some point we were 50%, yes.
Okay, close enough. How did SAE prepare you for starting your career?
It's interesting because I never really planned on running a tech startup at all. I initially wanted to become a music producer, but then as I was studying here at SAE, the course was structured in such a way that it showed me that there were different areas of the audio industry that I've never considered, and which I really liked, such as sound design and audio programming. So I would say that if it wasn't for those modules, I would never discover that I like those things, and maybe I wouldn't even open Oycla in the first place.
Right. And what skills did SAE provide you with to aid you in starting this project?
It would be kind of hard to pinpoint one specific thing or a couple things because there's so many. But I guess that the pure data and the Maximus P modules, which are kind of audio programming, were definitely a huge help for me, as it allowed me to create prototypes out of my ideas. Creating new cool things and things like that. That really excited me. I was very lucky because I had top-notch lecture when I was studying, and in fact, I spent pretty much the whole academic time just prototyping cool tech. And in fact, one of them actually is the tech that we are building in our company at the moment. And another one is a cool tech that enhances the reading experience through the use of sound, which is also something that I would like to pursue in the future.
And what made you pursue a degree in audio production?
Well, I mean, since I was a kid, I remember staring at loudspeakers and being fascinated by something invisible, such as sound and music, and yet being so powerful and profound. And you know, but then as an aspiring music producer, I quickly realized that I needed to know more, and so I felt that a degree in audio production would be very useful, and it would provide me all the information and all the knowledge needed to start my own career.
And what made you choose SAE?
What made I choose SAE? Interesting one. I mean, I actually I was dreaming to use these studios, right? And knowing that I could not only learn how to use them, but I could also make music with it was all that I could think about. And you know, it's very hard to find people that speak your passion outside. And so for me, being able to be surrounded by, you know, great lecturers and classmates, and, you know, I mean, here I could literally talk, make, and learn about audio the whole day on a daily basis. So, you know, it's kind of important. It was kind of important for me to, it was an important aspect as to why I joined SAE.
Right. And what did you enjoy most about your degree and time at SAE?
I've met great people here. I met great lecturers, great classmates, great CSD. Some of them became my very good friends of mine, and some actually started working for my company. So, you know, being surrounded by other people that love what you're doing and you can share the same passion, that was the best thing for me. You know, being surrounded by others that, like me, would wanted to pursue the same career, and I could share what I wanted to do, and they could help me, and I could help them. You know, spending time in the studio together, being inspired by certain lectures. You know, there's a lot of, you know, being around people in general that love what you do is amazing.
Right. Yeah. And what would you say to someone who is considering applying to SAE?
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I mean, where else do you get this kind of equipment? Where else do you get this? You know, the studios are open 24/7, and the course is structured. The program is very wide, and it shows all the different aspects of the audio industry. So even if you're not sure, but you kind of like music or sound, you're gonna find what you like. You're gonna find something that interests you and you want to pursue. So. And again, like, where else do you find this kind of thing? Like, you can really come here. I mean, I remember, like, sleeping in the studio, right? Coming here for a session and then going in the morning in class. That didn't work out very well. But, you know, there's nothing like this around. And being able to learn in class the theory and then practice it in the studio during the afternoon, night, what else?